What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Company 119's The Coffee Cup. I'm Ryan Gilgerson, lead creative at Company 119, and we're glad you could watch us. Listen, we're super excited today. You know, we've been reaching out to other companies, other agencies that do some things with digital marketing, and we've got one of the best companies in Cleveland, well known for their videography. You've seen their work, and you probably don't even realize it. We'll find out what you've seen of theirs out there before that's going to bring attention to it. But Purple Films is joining us here. We've got Jimmy and Dan. We thank you guys for coming down.
It's an honor to be here.
Yeah,
man.
thanks for having us.
So listen, you guys, we were talking a little bit before we started rolling about how you guys have been passionate about video since you were friends and you were 12 years old, right? And everybody else is, playing football or cheerleading or whatever kids do at 12, and you guys are like, let's make videos and do that. What's it like to now take that passion and turn it into something that's monetized and something you get to do every day and get paid for it?
I mean, it's living the dream. We get to do what we want to do every day. We get to basically take our hobby, something we would do without money or with money, and, you can't beat that.
No, absolutely. Do you ever, you've been doing it for a long time, and you've obviously done a lot of different clients, a lot of different customers. How do you keep it fresh after doing it for so long?
I mean, we could just continue to get better.
Sure.
And Jimmy and I have always had the philosophy that we look at something and someone might be like, oh, that's great, but we'll be like, dude, that sucked. So we'll be like constantly trying to get better, constantly trying to improve our skills.
Sure.
And that keeps us hungry and that keeps us able to grow.
And all the new clients, they have different stories,
True.
So you're looking at ways to tell their story in a unique way. And, it's all fresh. Stories are fresh, and there's new ways to do things that you've done in the past that you can learn from. And
We talk a lot about storytelling through advertising. We just had a great guest yesterday that was talking about that. When your customers come to you, we have different results when we ask this question, but do most of your customers have an idea of who their customers are, or do you have to kind of guide them through that so that you know who you're shooting for? Do they have a pretty good idea of who they want to convey a message to?
I would say most of the larger companies, we're working with a lot of Fortune 500, Fortune 1000 brands.
Sure.
And they definitely seem to have a detailed vision of who their client is and who their audience is.
Sure.
And then some of the startup businesses and some of the restaurants and some of the more localized businesses, those are the ones where you need to kind of walk them through and help them. This could be your target market.
Sure.
And you should really focus on one target market, even if you're going after two or three.
Sure.
But when you focus on that one, it'll kind of expand. And
I love that theory. Absolutely. So you guys started out the way that I heard about you first, and we've talked about this and laughed about it, was through the Ohio Hip Hop Awards. I remember you guys were shooting videos, and Tezo won an award for Video of the Year one year, and that was you guys behind it. So you took this stuff, you're just having fun, and that's kind of the pocket money stuff that you do along the way. That's what recording studios do along the way. They get these local guys to come in and do that stuff, hoping that they can cross over and get bigger clients and go on to bigger things. How did you make the transition from doing those kind of projects to getting into corporate projects and the big time clients that you have?
Well, I would say that was all like a learning experience. We were shooting music videos, and we were kind of trying to do as many as we can, and we were trying to learn how to shoot, how to light, how to work with talent. We tried to do a lot of short films, and we didn't have talent that would show up. We were in college, so we had people that wanted to make short films and music videos, so we did that. And the transition from meeting them and building those relationships, we eventually met people that had T-shirt companies that were giving them T-shirts and clothing, like Ilthy, Glenn Infante.
For sure.
So he saw some of the music videos, and then that would transition to us doing some videos for Glenn.
Yeah.
So it was like we were just continuing to meet people.
And then Glenn's audience was just so different than the hip-hop audience.
Sure.
It was the hip-hop audience, but then so much more.
Right. It's more of an art and couture. And,
So we took these rap videos and then started working with the clothing brands, and the clothing brands kind of elevated us on the next platform to the restaurants, to the local TV stations.
You guys were part of a movement, like a Cleveland Renaissance movement. It was that time where Cleveland turned that corner, and you saw Glenn became a couture brand that was high end and getting into places where we'd never had a fashion brand before. You guys started to do some of the video stuff where guys that were doing videos, saw a lot of promise from what you were able to do to turn that corner. Music artists turned that corner. It's kind of this whole rebirth and renaissance. looking back a few years removed from kind of that turning point now, Cleveland has kind of established itself now. It's not about turning that corner. They've turned a corner. Now we're looking for a next step. What do you guys see as the next step for Cleveland as a creative destination and driving culture?
That's a good question.
I might have gone too deep. I went too far.
It is. I would say, though, like, the really cool thing is all those people in 2011, 2012, 2013 that we were working with, it's incredible to see how fast everyone has grown.
It is.
Like, these guys are successful. I mean, I guess we're part of that, but
for sure,
there are so many artists that we were working with that are still out in LA now, mostly, and killing it.
Yeah.
And the whole group exploded.
There's a lot of videographers, I know a ton of them in the city doing videos, and they're doing great. And it's, what's changed a lot too is Purple Films was a brand back then. And most of the videographers at that time were just one-off guys doing their thing. But you guys branded yourselves very well. How important was branding, your company as a real legit company instead of just two guys with a camera in terms of people taking you seriously and professionally?
So Dan really pushed that when we were in high school. A lot of people were... their initials would be their company name. Sure. But Dan wanted something that was like a collective of creatives.
Right.
And Purple.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's his favorite flavor. I don't know.
Close enough, man.
Yeah, but it is, when you're two young kids, you definitely need to appear bigger than you are.
Yeah.
Or else Time Warner Cable might turn the other way and not hire you.
For sure. So the first time you guys get a call from a big corporate client, and you guys get the nod that you're going to do it, and that excitement wears off, and you're like, oh my gosh, we really got to go do this now. What was that feeling like?
So you're talking about Nike, Kyrie.
Right.
Yeah.
It was...
is this really them calling us?
Yeah. Right. So that was... We were working out of our parents' house. Like, we were in Dan's mom's family room.
Yeah.
And we were making these music videos, and we spent... I think it was a whole summer making Tezo Evil Plan.
Yeah.
We did it for like $200.
Yeah, right.
Spent months editing it. We got the call from Nike that they had seen this music video and they were coming to Cleveland to make a video for Kyrie.
Yeah.
And they wanted to make a video that had that similar style.
That's so cool.
So we were like, wow. That's cool, yeah.
Was it when you were working with them, and we talked a little bit about this on the phone when we talked too, but when you're working with a big client like that, how much freedom do you have creatively, and how much are they kind of watching over to make sure their branding is right and everything? What's the combination of your two creative minds like?
I would say it's very collaborative. They definitely know what they want, and they have such a button-up team and have everyone in place. So there's definitely some things that you have to hit to make it their style, but at the same time, they want that energy. They want something funky. They like to push the bar.
Sure.
So they are expecting you to do something that they're not really used to.
That's why you're there, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They liked what you did in the vision. That's so cool to be able to do that. What advice would you give to the kids starting out now? First of all, it's so different now because of what guys like you did. Now the branding is a lot more prevalent with the videos. Every time a video comes out, there's a logo, there's a video at the beginning, they're doing their drops at the beginning, all that stuff to make sure that everybody knows it's them. But how does somebody go from just being that kid that's shooting videos for rock groups or local rappers or whatever to making that transition from a business perspective? To take yourself serious? What's some tips you could give somebody to go from point A to point B with that?
Well, before you start, I think the first thing is, like, you just got to do it. Like, a lot of people are, like, planning, but you really have to go out and be aggressive and just go create things. Because once you start creating things, people are going to notice that momentum. But I would say one of the toughest things for us as Purple Films was going from that 2012 transition of, hey, we shoot rap videos.
Right.
To, let's try and go after Fortune 500s.
Right.
So some of the challenges were you'd almost have to take more work than you are normally, that you might not want to take.
Sure.
So we were doing a lot of event videos because we were trying to transition into these businesses. So we were taking the lower hanging fruit.
Yeah.
But we knew that's where we would meet a lot of potential people and clients that could help spread our name into that.
It was as much about networking as it was the actual money you were bringing back from 100%. The event.
100%. It might not be the video that relates to our mission, but like Jimmy's saying, these are the connections that we need to get to that next level.
Yeah.
So you really just got to take every opportunity you can And then the other thing is just, it's a small city. You got to be really nice to everybody.
Dude, and isn't that the thing right there? You have to be able to have relationships with people. And that's the part of business that sometimes gets lost. It's not just about numbers. It's about being able to relate to people and have them trust you to take their baby and make a project out of it, right? You guys, you were telling me that you shoot things for like plumbing fixtures and things like that. How do you take that creative edge that you have from doing Nike commercials and rap videos, all this cool stuff, to shooting a sink and making it, edgy or, making creative? How do you do that?
I think some of it comes down to the fact that, like, you got a Kyrie Irving and a LeBron. These dudes love what they do and they're passionate about it. But at the same time, you got these engineers that work for these businesses that you might never see this product, but these guys are just as passionate as these athletes.
Yeah.
But in a different field.
It's focusing on the people.
Yeah.
The people behind it, the people that are making it, the people that are sharing their ideas, their philosophies.
Right, anyone can make the product, but it's the people behind the product that really sell it, that really bring that emotion.
I love that you just said that, because our Coffee Cup yesterday was all about that from a branding perspective, how to brand and tell your story more than the product. Because people, it's just like on American Idol, they can all sing, but people vote for the one that has the best story a lot of times, right? That's what they like to get. So you guys are able to capture that and put it out in a visual form, which is so cool. So what's next for you guys? I mean, is Cleveland the spot for you guys, or is it something where you eventually want to expand out to LA or something like that, or you want to do it all from here?
I mean, we definitely have global mindset.
Yeah.
But Cleveland is a blessing. We're very lucky to be here. There's a large number of Fortune 500s, and there's a huge entrepreneurial scene in Cleveland.
Yeah.
So I think we were in the right place at the right time.
For sure.
We definitely are searching and going after companies from other states, and we have some companies from New York that will come to us when they're in Cleveland.
Yeah.
But our goal is to get more companies to send us out of Cleveland.
Sure. Absolutely. Get some free travel anyways, right? You need to find some clients in Hawaii.
Dude, I'd
be hitting them up.
Those are our vacations.
Yeah, right around December, I'd be calling everybody in Hawaii getting out.
Well, the crazy thing is, though, the number of Fortune 1000s in Ohio versus the number of Fortune 1000s in Hawaii is a huge difference.
Yeah, we've got so many big markets in Ohio that you
Exactly.
can hit. People forget how many big cities are in Ohio.
The biggest branding company in the world is Procter & Gamble in Cincinnati.
Wow, see? Didn't know that. See, we're learning on the Coffee Cup. So, I got a friend from Akron that just moved out to LA. I don't know if you guys heard, LeBron is out there, so you hit him up when you go out there. He just moved out. We'll get you some opportunities.
Yes.
So, Purple Films, I want to thank you guys for coming down. Where can people get more information on you? What's the website? They can go check it out, just purplefilms.com.
Purple Dash. There's
Purple Dash.
There's a hyphen in there. Purple Dash.
Somebody already had a Purple Film site?
This is true, yeah.
Wow, you got to take them out.
Was it like European or something?
It was like a BBC type of show.
Oh, no, man. So purple-films.com.
Correct.
Now, here's what's funny. I don't know if you guys know the Kick Drums, the music producers, but they do live mixtapes now. But they told this story about back in the day how they had Kid Cudi come and do a record with them, and they charged him $300 for a beat, and he didn't want to pay it. This is before he was famous, and he made this big deal about paying him $300. Now if he comes back for a beat, obviously they can't afford him, and he can't afford them, because they've done so much stuff since then. So we just want to make it clear, when all these guys who shot rap videos for $150, the price has gone up just a little bit, right? They're not grandfathered into $150 videos, right?
Yeah, sometimes we get told that we're taxing.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you should. That's because we're making money. When you make money, you put a tax on it. It's a little different. Awesome, man. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on, man. We appreciate you making the trek all the way out here and letting us in on what's going on with you guys.
Anytime, it was a pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So there it is. You just learned more about one of Cleveland's hottest videography firms that's ever been, and is going to continue to do great things. Before you finish your first cup of coffee, then your competition will all day. We'll see you tomorrow on a Coffee Cup.